Welcome to UA Live. I'm Ava Toll.
And I'm Maria Manessi. Coming up in the show, we look at senior projects, crime stories of UA, and a sport that hasn't been affected by construction.
A total of 52 AP and IB tests were taken between Friday, May 3rd and Friday, May 24th. These tests allow students to receive college credit for the AP/IB classes they completed throughout the school year. The access to results start June 5th for IB tests and June 8th for AP tests.
Capstone doesn't count towards college credit like certain AP/IB test scores, but is a requirement for graduation. There are 3 times of this year's seniors present in the fall, winter, and spring. Peter Zelnick reports on the spring presentations.
On April 25th, students apparated from their usual school day to do some other school-related activities. Freshmen did shadowing day, where they get to leave school for the day to help with someone in a job and learn what they do, how they do it, and to meet some other coworkers. Sophomores participated in Real World, Real Money.
I think it's going really well. I think students are engaged. They're trying to figure out how to use their monthly budget and make it to the end of the month with some money left over. And it's a little bit challenging.
It is a great way for sophomores to learn about how to use monthly budgets and to learn more about finance. And seniors presented their capstone projects while juniors participated in being an audience for them. They have been divided into separate groups in different classrooms.
And then I also focused on the effects that it has on actual man-made trails like the Appalachian Trail.
Capstone presentations are a great way to be informed of some of the new ideas, experiences, and beliefs that are presented by students, to students, and teachers. And capstone presentations aren't just a once-a-year thing. They can be made and presented at the near end of semesters 1 and 2. Overall, April 25th was a great day of learning by having students be observant, to help, to know more about personal finance, to think about a future career, and to be creative, even when freshmen do not go to school. And besides final exams and senior graduation, it really is one of the best ways to wrap up our 2018 through 2019 school year and to head off into a great and worthwhile summer vacation. This has been Peter Zelnick, signing off from WARL.
Students who are participating in the summer capstone for the 2019-2020 school year will take the class June 3rd through the 14th, with portfolios due on August 9th and present to students and staff on August 26th.
The Bear Den is a student prep organization which was started as a capstone and modeled after OSU's Block O. They lead football games and other sporting events for Upper Arlington High School, and new leaders were chosen for the 2019-2020 school year. Will Reynolds, Jen Gomez, Duncan McDonald, Demi Sauter, and Nick Mullins were all selected.
This marks the first year since 2016 that the Bear Den has had 3 guy presidents instead of 3 girls, and this is the first year all presidents are involved in a sport. Now we toss it to sports with Sydney and Max.
Welcome to sports. Tournament time began May 6th for high school athletics. In the softball district semifinals, UA, as the 13th seed, beat the number 4 seed Groveport Madison 11-7. This put the softball Bears in their first district finals in 35 years. They lost that game to Westerville Central 12-0.
The baseball team defeated defending state champion Olentangy Liberty by a score of 4-3 and won the program's first district championship since 2010. The team plays the number 1 seed New Albany in the regional semifinals at Dublin Kaufman High School, May 30th at 5 p.m.
In the boys volleyball district finals, UA was defeated in 3 sets by Dublin Jerome. Their overall record was 13-8.
Boys tennis sectionals were May 9th at Upper Arlington High School. Jessica Stelzer reports on how construction impacted the team leading up to the tournament time.
Boys tennis, along with men's volleyball and crew, are the only spring sports that will not be impacted by the construction at UAHS. Senior Varsity A player Nick Gruss tells us the difference he has noticed so far.
It hasn't been too bad. We kind of got lucky that the tennis courts aren't getting destroyed, but it's definitely a lot louder out here, so it's kind of hard to concentrate, but we maintain focus.
Although this team isn't directly affected by construction, they have gotten their fair share of obstacles to tackle.
I'd say about 3/4 are away, which kind of sucks. We like more home matches, obviously, because the home court advantage, but it's not that big of a deal.
However, unlike many of the other sports this spring season, there have been some good side effects because other sports teams have been forced to practice and compete elsewhere. Senior Hunter Triplett, another player on Varsity A, explains the benefits.
A lot less traffic going along the courts.
Usually there's like track and football coming through. All those teams are practicing other places, which is kind of nice. It's a little bit quieter in the sense that there's not a ton of people walking through the courts or disrupting.
Despite the differences these athletes have noticed, they continue to strive toward their season goals.
Our goals for the season are always, to go undefeated. We're 2-0 right now, which is always good. We want to go beat New Albany. We've lost in the past 2 years. The main goal is always to beat New Albany. Let's see if we can get there. We should be able to. It'll be a good match. I hope everyone comes out in sports.
If you're interested in supporting men's tennis, you can find more information on their Twitter at UA Men's Tennis. Good luck to our tennis bears this season. This has been Jessica Stelzer reporting for the WARL.
6 tennis bears qualified for districts. For singles, both Nick Gruss and Hunter Triplett individually lost in the first round. Gruss lost to the eventual district champion from St. Charles.
Will Reynolds and Paige Campo won sectionals, however the pair lost in the second round of districts, the score being 6-2. Nathan Yu and Emerson Dean advanced to the second round of the tournament, but lost in 3 sets.
Later in sports, we will look at track, ultimate frisbee, and girls and boys lacrosse.
Now to Jen and Ellie with Community News.
Welcome to Community News. I'm Jen.
And I'm Ellie. The first rebuild of Henderson Road in more than 50 years has begun. The work is expected to continue until late November. And there are several different detours for residents that live along Hampton Lane and Tarrington Lane, which will have access to Sawmill Road during the first phase of construction. August 1st marks when Phase 2 from Tarrington to Sawmill Road will begin. This construction is to improve the overall quality while also doing water line and sanitary line work. Until then, Upper Arlington OH.gov has construction updates.
The Upper Arlington Police Officer of the Month is Officer Domaslawski. On April 23rd, Domaslawski observed a vehicle that had broken down on Kenny Road and took it upon himself to spend his own money to buy gas for the vehicle's operator.
Community Relations Officer Brian McKean toured Caroline Peerwitz and Piper Crotty through the Upper Arlington Police Department and explained the booking process.
The UAPD works hard 24/7 to keep the streets of Upper Arlington safe.
So UA is just like any other city. We're dealing with the same crimes that everyone else deals with. So if you look at Columbus, Bexley, Hilliard, Dublin, we all have pretty much the same issues that go on, and no one's immune to crime. I know here in UA we've had 2 homicides this year. That's very unusual for us. But if you look at Hilliard and Columbus and Bexley, I mean, there are homicides that happen there all the time. So it's not necessarily unusual that we would see some of those in UA from time to time. The crimes that we do see predominantly in UA tend to be things like theft, breaking and entering. We see a lot of cars that are gone through, so people forget and leave their car doors unlocked. We do see drug crime, just like everywhere else, especially in the state of Ohio. There's, we see a lot of heroin, and we see a lot of crimes that are perpetuated from that. So people who are hooked on heroin are then committing theft crimes. And again, I'm not saying that UA has an inordinate amount of these crimes. I'm just saying these are the things that we tend to see. One of the things I hear all the time is I hear people saying UA is such a safe city and there's not any crime that happens in UA, and which is awesome. I feel like that's where we are really doing our jobs. If we can keep the average citizen from really knowing what crime goes on, then that's where we're being successful.
When an arrest is made in UA, the officer will bring the person over to the police station, where they will then be transferred from what's called the Sally Port into the holding facility. In this holding facility, they will be able to make a phone call. They will have their picture taken, possibly be breathalyzed, get fingerprinted, and maybe even be restrained if they are being defiant. From there, they are placed in a cell where they can be held for up to 7 hours. The local jail can hold up to 16 people at one time. A fun fact, however, is that the police department feeds those in custody a nice meal of McDonald's as they wait. This has been Caroline Peerwitz and Piper Crotty reporting for the WARL.
At a city council meeting on April 22nd, the board approved legislation to ban all nicotine products in the city's public parks.
This ban includes the use of cigarettes, cigars, e-cigarettes, and vaping devices. This ban goes into effect by the end of May. Now on to lifestyle with Alex.
Welcome to Lifestyle. With summer approaching, there are many festivals and events going on in Columbus. The 58th Annual Columbus Arts Festival is taking place June 7th through 9th at the downtown riverfront and is featuring 275 artists this year. For those looking for local music, Buckeye Country Superfest is at the Ohio Stadium on June 8th, Promo Westfest is at the Express Live July 15th through 17th, and Breakaway Music Festival is at Mapfre Stadium on August 23rd and 24th. Any teen looking to travel during the summer, Moondance is an amazing opportunity. Andrea Orazen traveled to the islands of Fiji for a mission trip. Jessica Stelzer looks back on last summer.
On an average day, you can find 17-year-old Andrea Orazen working at the Goodie Shop in Upper Arlington. At her job, she does chores, waits on customers, checks them out, and decorates cookies and cakes.
It's really fun.
When Andrea isn't working at this town-famous bakery, she is a junior at Upper Arlington High School.
So I left Columbus in the afternoon at like 5 o'clock, and I got to LA around 9 o'clock their time. And then I stayed in LA for probably 3 hours and then got on the plane at 11 o'clock and landed in Fiji at 6 a.m. in the morning. So the flight from LA to Fiji was 10 hours and 40 minutes. I stayed on the main island of Fiji for probably 15 out of the 17 days that I was there. But for 2 days we traveled to a very small island called Yanuki. And that was probably my favorite because we did, like the things that we did there were just so, I don't know. The weather was nice, it was just so happy and everyone was just having a good time and it felt like I was at home with these people that I'd never met before.
She went through the teen adventure program called Moondance.
Nice.
Moondance is a company that takes teenagers from all over the country to different places in the country and all over the world to experience many different types of, like you can do service trips where you're helping out with villages, or you can do leadership trips where you're learning more about yourself and the people that you're with.
On her trip, she went on many adventures. She scuba dived with the fish, stingrays, and even sharks. She kayaked and surfed with her new-made friends. She visited and played with the children of the village. Most importantly, she took risks and made memories.
I would describe my trip as a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I would never expect that I would have gone to Fiji with the people that I was with or done the things that I did, and it was truly life-changing.
Andrea went on her trip alone. She knew no one prior to being on the trip. When she got back from her adventure to Fiji, she met 11 kids her age and 3 counselors from all over the nation.
I also made friends that are still back in Fiji that I don't have contact with, but those people were probably the closest friends that I made because we truly just had a connection from like absolutely nothing, and it was awesome to see like the smiles on the people's faces just when we'd give them a toy car or something so little.
The friends that she can stay in contact with still keep in touch. At this year's Breakaway Festival, 4 of her friends she made came to visit. We interviewed Andrea's mom to get a closer look.
I was very apprehensive, but my husband sort of convinced me that it would be a really good opportunity for her to experience some things she would never maybe experience before in her life. So
we asked how she changed after being away from home and out of the country for almost a month.
I think she's a little more independent. I think she was, first of all, she was very brave to go without any friends or really anybody she knew. So I think she's more comfortable talking to people that she might not know. She's, I think, a little more mature.
Over the course of a month, Andrea went from being an average student that works at the Goodie Shop to being an adventurer. Moondance Adventures gives her the chance to experience new things, make new friends, and learn lessons she'll remember for the rest of her life.
During my trip, I learned a lot about myself and like what I want to do with my life and how I like to live and think about things. I learned that I'm very thankful for what I have, and I take that for granted a lot of the time. And I learned a lot about other people from different
states and how just a lot of things are very different.
This has been Jessica Stelzer reporting for the WARL.
This summer, Orazen plans to travel with Noon Dance to Switzerland, Italy, and Spain. If you're over the moon about Columbus, according to TripAdvisor, the best 3 places to go in Columbus are the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, Easton Town Center, and the North Market. For the rest of the top 15 places, check out TripAdvisor's best things to do in Columbus. Now back to Ava and Maria with Maine.
On May 21st, their former elementary schools. This is a great opportunity for students to visit with staff, administrators, and old friends at the end of high school. This is a tradition that many seniors participate in every year.
This is one of the last events the 462 seniors will participate in before commencement, which will take place on Sunday, May 26th at the Jerome Schottenstein Center.
Clash Royale was released by the Supercell 3 years ago. Tad Fountain looks at where it is today.
Recently, at the Upper Arlington High School, the game has exploded in popularity and has taken over a good portion of the school community. Clash Royale is a strategy game that involves 2 players battling each other in an arena. The objective is to destroy your opponent's towers and mitigate as much damage as you can against your own. Clash Royale is a free mobile game that can be played anywhere and anytime. Due to its ease of access, students and staff find time to clash during the school day. Upper Arlington High School junior Justin Minke explains that students continue to play this game not just due to the entertainment factor, but for other reasons.
I still play Clash Royale because a lot of my friends play it and we can all join together to have fun. We play clan wars, we donate each other troops, we trade, it's all a lot of fun. It provides a way to connect with my friends via internet, and if my phone ever gets taken away from my parents, I can hop on my account with my iPad and text with them through clan chat.
Not only do students play this entertaining game, but so do teachers. Mr. Bixel shares some insight as to why this game is so popular and addicting.
I was kind of down in the dumps, I was kind of depressed, and this one kid came to me and said, "Hey man, why don't you try playing some Clash of Clans?" And I figured, all right, so he said all the other kids are doing it. And I figured, I'll give it a try. And, that was kind of my gateway into Clash Royale.
The simplicity and strategy of this game make it easy for anyone to pick up and play, but it takes time to master. Clash Royale is a fantastic game for those that enjoy a challenge and strategy. This has been Tad Fountain clashing for WARL.
Another Supercell hit is Clash of Clans. The game took mobile devices by storm in 2012.
Global app downloads across the App Store and Google Play surpassed 113 billion in 2018, according to Tech Jury.
Thanks for tuning in to this first half of the show. Now to a restart.
Welcome back to UA Live. I'm Tad Fountain.
And I'm Peter Zolnik. Coming up on the show, we look at attendance, girls' lax, and CoGo.
With summer upon us, students who are participating in summer classes, your academic year is not over just yet. Some of the courses offered this summer include public speaking, health, physical education, different core classes from grades 1 through 12, and many more.
Students interested in schedule changes for next year can fill out a schedule change request in August. Schedule request forms are online, should be completed by parents, and are available on the UAHS website.
Many students, like myself, have faced inaccurate excessive absence alerts due to the state's new attendance policy. Alex and Ava take a look at this pressing issue for the student body.
In December of 2016, the Ohio General Assembly passed House Bill 410 to encourage and support a preventative approach to excessive absences and truancy that began in the 2017-2018 school year.
So what we look at is there's two categories for absences. The first one is that we call what's excessive. And these are state terms now. You have excessive and you have habitual. Excessive counts every absence that you have, whether it's excused or unexcused. Okay? And it counts it up to 65 hours. Once you hit 65 hours, you've now hit what they call the excessive threshold. And the way we handle that is anything beyond 65 hours, you now have to have a medical documentation for that to be excused.
After the 65-hour limit, a student can be excused by parents with a note from a medical professional or the district superintendent for 10 total reasons. Those being illness of the child, illness in the family, quarantine of the home, death of a relative, medical or dental appointment, observance of a religious holiday, college visitation, placement in foster care or change in foster care placement, absence due to a student being homeless, or emergency in which the judgment of the superintendent of schools constitutes as a good and sufficient cause for absence from school.
So, once you hit that threshold of 65, everything has to be documented. If you don't document it, it goes down as an unexcused absence. And then the state has 3 thresholds for that. 30 consecutive unexcused hours would require me and you and your parent and a teacher and a guidance counselor sit down and have a meeting about why are you missing school for 30 consecutive unexcused hours. The next one is 42 unexcused hours in a month. Same thing, we'd have to have a meeting. And the other one, which we deal with a lot here, is 72 unexcused hours for the year.
Many students are confused by the difference between having excessive absences and becoming a truant.
So when we file truancy, it's out of our hands. So we will file truancy. Now you have to deal with the courts. So the idea of the student attendance intervention plan meeting is to make sure we don't do that.
At Upper Arlington High School, when a student begins to approach any of these thresholds, a letter is sent out to their family.
Students get a letter when you hit like 30 hours of excessive as a warning letter. And I know this because then I get phone calls from parents going, what is this letter about, right? So you could be excused every single day, right? You could be excused. Every parents have called you off every single day, but will fit under that excessive category.
What they did was, well, I kept getting emails from them. My mom got emails. She got a phone call actually from the principal telling her that I had a lot of unexcused absences or just absences in general.
It was just like a letter saying like excessive absence or something. But like I said, like I haven't been sick this year, so I don't understand how I've been an excessive absentee or whatever it said.
They sent me a few emails, but like what they said was if I like miss any days without a doctor's note, it's automatically an unexcused absence. But if I have a note from my parent, I don't get a detention. But if there's no doctor note, it's like unexcused.
While the state feels as though the legislation is providing a beneficial change, many students feel differently.
I went to New York with symphonic choir, but I missed a lot of school because there was a death in the family. So in the first place, that's why I missed a lot.
Every time I missed school was like it was pre-planned. I didn't have a sick day all year. I didn't go to IDEA Day, but either did most of the school. But like my sister gets them, and I understand that because she has doctor's appointments like almost every day, and she missed a ton of school. But like I can't think of like any full day that I've missed other than like maybe the day before Thanksgiving break, maybe a day before spring break, and then IDEA Day. But like I don't miss school that much, and I got one, so.
Mostly because I get sick a lot, but also because like in the third quarter I got a concussion and I was out for like probably like 2 weeks, like not consecutively. But I had to miss a lot of school for that, and they counted that towards it.
Regardless of how students feel, all the new regulations on attendance put in place are in order to benefit students.
I get it. Sometimes there could be a mistake that's made, and just listen. I try to tell everybody in those meetings, pay attention to your power school, follow your attendance, address it upon seeing an error so we can get it taken care of. Nobody here is trying to hose anybody, right? We all want everybody to be successful and to be able to graduate from Upper Arlington High School and move on in the right direction.
This has been Alex, Chris, and Ava Toll for the WARL.
According to the Ohio Department of Education, Ohio defines chronic absenteeism as missing 10% or more of the school year for any reason. A student is considered chronically absent if they miss 2 days of school per month.
According to Christopher Potts, Chief Operating Officer for the Upper Arlington City Schools, the high school is progressing with Phase 1 of the stadium improvements. The footers for the bleachers on the home side are being done, and residents should see bleachers being installed by mid-June.
The concession and restroom buildings are also starting to emerge from the ground. The stadium portion of the work is still set to be complete by mid-August, so it's ready for the fall teams.
Now let's toss it to sports with Jessica and Will.
Welcome to sports. I'm Jessica Stelzer.
And I'm Will Reynolds. The boys lacrosse team played in the third round of the regional tournament on May 21st. They beat St. Charles Prep 6-3 and now play Worthington-Kilbourne on May 24th for the regional finals.
Last year, the boys lacrosse lost to Kilbourne in the same round, so now the Bears are hungry for a win this year.
Junior midfielder Elena Schillmeyer is the 2019 spring season OCC Central Girls Lax Player of the Year. The team is ranked number 1 in the region and beat Thomas Worthington 17-6 on May 20th.
Now the girls are in the regional finals and play Jerome at Dublin Scioto on May 23rd. While on the road to states, Ava Toll got the inside look on the girls lacrosse team.
The UA girls lacrosse team is preparing for their 5th state championship in a row. Although many spring sports have had troubles with construction, the team is unaffected because they have always practiced at Tremont. So, without construction distractions, their focus is on rebuilding their team. They practice 5 times a week and lift 2 times a week. The past 4 years, they've won the state championship with the same core girls from when they were freshmen to seniors. When the seniors left, the team was rebuilt with a young group. Coach Pinta, who has been head coach since 1992, explains how they are planning to win their 5th state title with only 3 returning starters from last year.
3 returning starters on varsity. Certainly we have a huge challenge to be contenders for the state championship this year. However, we are definitely 12 strong on the field. So, and we have a great host of support players to help us get better each and every day at practice.
While it might take more to get to states, Captain Elena Schuldemeyer sees the strengths within her team that could get them there.
Some of our strengths of the program, we have a few returning players, but we have a lot of young players this year, so we've been able to really work the first weeks of the season and really work on the basics like defense and learning plays. And I think that's a big strength that we have, that we've already been able to work so hard on those things, because those are what we need to do to get back to having our winning record and having a winning season.
Although this young team has its strengths, Coach Pinta knows in order to win, the girls must put in the dedication.
In order for us to get to the place where we can contend and compete for a state championship, we first of all need all 20 of our players playing the hardest that they can each and every day at practice, certainly developing strengths at every area of the field.
The team lost their first game of the season after their 4-year winning streak, but Elena is still keeping a positive outlook.
But we're still looking to make a far run in the state tournament. It doesn't really matter the beginning season, so we are 0-1 right now, but we can always grow off of that, and the only games that really matter in the tournament season. So if we can build and keep growing as a team in the early season, then I think we have a good chance of making it back.
For those interested in watching the girls' journey to states, the team plays their home games in the Tremont Turf Field. This has been Ava Tolt reporting for the WARL.
The Glax Bears are looking to get a 4-peat this year. A new club sports team pursued by Andrew Shapiro, Ultimate Frisbee, went to states on May 18th. With recruitment from Charlie Hall, the team had a big turnout. This club team was able to make it to the semifinals of the state tournament.
Girls track got 4th in districts. Their 4x2 relay team is going on to regionals. The runners include Abby Sells, Elizabeth Schuler, Ada Hyde, Bonaham, and Cassidy Barron.
On the boys' side, Isaac Perry is the only UA runner to race in prelims. He raced on Wednesday, May 22nd in the 10-meter hurdles and ran a 15:04 and ran a 40:03 in the 300-meter hurdles.
However, Isaac did not qualify for states. Now to Annie and Rebecca with Community News.
Hi, I'm Annie Ranke. And I'm Rebecca. On Memorial Day weekend, a big sale will be held outside Huffman's Market at Tremont Center to raise money for Mount View Christian Church's mission trip to Puerto Rico this summer. Any leftover funds will go to Upper Arlington schools for kids with negative balances in their lunch accounts.
If you missed the bake sale between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, there's another new sweet option nearby. Peace, Love, and Little Donuts opened on West Henderson Road near Rita's Italian Ice. The donut shop began in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and is known for their fun and shareable mini donuts.
The CoGo bike share is a new and fun way to get around and experience Columbus through affordable and temporary rentable bikes. Jen Gomez takes a closer look.
The CoGo bikes were brought to Upper Arlington by Chad Gibson, a professor at Ohio State and the Upper Arlington Community Development Director. The stations were installed in late October of 2018, but the process began in 2016 when Gibson pitched the idea to City Council. He shares about this process.
After I got initial support from City Council regarding the pursuit of a grant so that would pay for a lot of the bike share stations, because they're about $50,000 a piece. I mean, each bike is about $1,200. They're heavy duty outdoor bikes. So you figure a station with a kiosk and a solar panel and 20 bikes, I mean, it's over $50,000. So I think it was June of 2016, I got support from City Council, and I actually rode a CoGo bike into the council chamber. I wanted to make an impact, and it was kind of a risk that I took, and it actually was hilarious.
Beyond this financial support from City Council, Gibson and his class in the City and Regional Planning Department at Ohio State received nearly $1 million grant from the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission.
The funding came through, and so Grandview has 4 stations, Upper Arlington has 5 stations, Bexley has 4 stations, and Columbus, they got, I think, 13 new stations.
The City of Upper Arlington has 5 CoGo bike stations, one located on the Mallway on Arlington Avenue, one at the Tremont Center on Tremont Road, one on the corner of Northwest Boulevard and Zollinger Road, one at Wellesley Drive and Lane Avenue in front of Le Chatelaine, and one at North Star and Northwest Boulevard. Riding a CoGo bike consists of 4 steps. First, a rider must join CoGo. Bikers can pick one of 3 options: an $8 day pass, an $18 3-day pass, or an annual membership that costs $7 a month. Riders can purchase their pass on the mobile app or at a CoGo station kiosk. An individual can purchase 1 or 2 bikes for a 1-day pass or a 3-day pass and must agree to the terms and conditions. Next, insert your credit card. Any additional 30 minutes of your ride without check into a station is $3. The machine will then give you a 5-digit ride code. Insert the code into the bike and voila! The bike is unlocked and you are ready to ride.
Saddle up, boys! Yeah!
Once you are done riding, return the bike to any station and make sure it's locked. Nick Mullins, a student at Upper Arlington and first-time CoGo rider, tells us about his use of the bike.
My CoGo bike experience was really good. We rode around for a bit and stayed in the bike lanes, followed all traffic laws. It was good. They're doing good stuff with the bikes. They're well taken care of.
Using a CoGo bike has many benefits. Kiki Lilly, also a first-time user, shares about her experience.
This is a cheap, good option if you just want to bike to dinner or something like that. And if you don't have a bike, this is really nice because you can use a bike without having to purchase one. And I really liked my CoGo experience.
Despite all these great things about the CoGo bikes, some Upper Arlington community members are not pleased with the new additions. Chad Gibson shares.
Of our 5 stations, 4 of them went great, and there was one where we had a neighbor that didn't like it and made a huge stink about it at City Council. And Council listened to them and said at the end of the day, we believe this is the best place for it, and thanks for your comments, but we're going to leave it where it is. They chose to put out a sign with my information on it. It was the one down at the Mallway.
In honor of Bike Month, a CoGo ribbon cutting was held at Le Chatelaine at the Lane Avenue station on May 14th at 10 a.m. City Council President Kip Greenhill spoke at the event.
We're looking at 1 million more people in Central Ohio over the next 20 to 25 years, and that's going to have a lot of positive impact. A lot more economic opportunities, social opportunities, opportunities in the arts. That's the good side. The challenge is going to be coping with the number of people that we have. And we're going to have to take a look at all different ways of moving people to work, to home, to recreation opportunities. So for CoGo to be a part of the growth of Upper Arlington, We're proud to have you here.
Reporting for the WARL, this has been Jen Gomez, and Ride On.
Squad rolling!
CoGo asks that riders plan a sensible route and do a pre-ride check. Obey traffic signals, ride with traffic, stay off sidewalks, use hand signals, yield to pedestrians, never ride distracted, and wear a helmet.
Elementary schools including Greensview, Whitcliffe, Tremont, and Barrington had their groundbreaking ceremonies on May 19th. Due to limited space, Windermere is scheduled to begin construction next May after the new Whitcliffe is built so that students will be able to temporarily transfer to the old Whitcliffe building.
The annual Komen Race for a Cure took place on May 18th. More than 21,000 people participated, making it the largest Komen Race for a Cure in the nation. More than $1.3 million has been raised, surpassing the organization's goal.
Great job, runners and walkers.
Now back to Maine.
The school store, Bare Essentials, has an extended schedule leading into the summer for those who may need any end-of-the-year supplies or summer spirit wear.
The store transitioned into their summer hours on May 28th. They remain open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. They closed on Memorial Day and officially closed on June 12th and will reopen on August 8th.
Our school coffee shop is transitioning to more green options starting next year. One way they plan on reducing their footprint is through the Green Mug Club. For those who are interested, you can email kduramo@uaschools.org for more information. With our current seniors entering the history books as the class of 2019, 15 graduating classes from previous years are celebrating their Upper Arlington High School reunions on the 4th of July this summer.
UA Alumni Day is on July 6th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Upper Arlington High School. All alumni, friends, and family are welcome for food, beverages, music, and a presentation of the 2019 Outstanding and Distinguished Alumni Awards and UA Educators Hall of Fame inductees. This is one of the last chances to enjoy UA Alumni Day before the high school gets torn down.
And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for tuning into UA Live this year. You can check out all of our shows on YouTube and see us next year on Kickin' It. Have a fantastic summer.
I am lost in the clouds.